RBI గవర్నర్ మాట్లాడుతున్నారు, లైవ్ లో చూద్దాం.
Standard as on 31st March 2021 shall be eligible to be considered under the Resolution Framework 2.0. Restructuring under the proposed framework may be invoked up to 30th September and shall have to be implemented within 90 days after invocation. In respect of, and the second component, now I am proceeding to the second component of this set of announcement. In respect of individual borrowers and small businesses who have availed restructuring of their loans under the Resolution Framework 1.0, where the resolution plan permitted moratorium of less than 2 years, lending institutions are being permitted to use this window to modify such plans to the extent of increasing the period of moratorium and or extending the residual tenure up to a total of 2 years. Other conditions will continue to remain the same. And the third component relates to small businesses and MSMEs which were restructured earlier, and this measure is intended to ease their working capital accommodation and the working capital availability for small businesses and MSMEs. And the announcement is as follows. In respect of small businesses and MSMEs restructured earlier, lending institutions are being permitted as a one-time measure to review the working capital sanction limits based on a reassessment of the working capital cycle, margins, etc. The next announcement relates to rationalization of compliance to KYC requirements. Taking forward the initiative of the RBI for enhancing customer convenience, it has been decided to rationalize certain components of the extant KYC norms. These include A. Extending the scope to video KYC known as video-based customer identification process, that is VSIP, for a new category of customers such as proprietorship firms, authorized signatories and beneficial owners of legal entities, and for periodic updation of KYC. B. Conversion of limited KYC accounts opened on the basis of Aadhaar e-KYC authentication in non-face-to-face mode to fully KYC compliant accounts. C. Enabling the use of KYC identifier of centralized KYC registry for VSIP and submission of electronic documents including identity documents issued through DigiLocker as identity proof. And D. Introduction of more customer-friendly options including use of digital channels for the purpose of periodic updation of KYC details of customers. And further, keeping in view the COVID-related restrictions in various parts of the country, regulated entities, financial entities regulated by the RBI are being advised that for the customer accounts where periodic KYC updating is due or pending, no punitive restriction on operation of customer accounts shall be imposed till 31st December 21. Unless warranted due to any other reason or under instructions of any other regulator, enforcement agency, court of law, etc. Account holders are, however, requested to update their KYC during this period. The next announcement relates to utilization of floating provisions and counter-cyclical provisioning buffer. In order to mitigate the pandemic-related stress on banks and as a measure to enable capital conservation, banks are being allowed to utilize 100% of floating provisions